Are you all right? Right, we're going to make a start. So we're going to start with setup as normal. So feet hip width apart, feet like the number 11, feet parallel, knees soft. We're just going to rock that weight forwards. Let's find that core engagement as we're coming in forwards and then back over the heels. So just rolling the weight across the foot, over the balls of the feet, and then back over the heels. Just transferring the weight across. Noticing that core engagement, we're going to maintain core engagement, so roughly 30% contraction, coming back to centre, weights nice and evenly distributed, finding neutral with the pelvis, so keeping the knees soft, just really scoop that tailbone between the legs, and then rocking forward, so just backwards and forwards with the pelvis, loosening off through that lower back. Few pelvic rolls. And then we're just going to slightly tuck the tailbone under, drawing up through the pelvic floor as well, so everything feels nice and tight around the centre. Extending the spine up towards the ceiling, so crown of the head towards the ceiling, and then just bringing the shoulders up, down, and back. So nice big shoulder rolls there, keeping that core strong, keeping that pelvic floor lifted. And let's do it for one more before we slide the shoulder blades down and back. Take a nice inhale breath. We're coming up into a full body stretch, keeping that core nice and strong so we don't overextend. We're just going to take an inhale breath as we just lean backwards, just waking up the spine. And then exhale, we're sliding the ribs back down towards the hips, back into our neutral posture, and then back again into that extension. Inhaling back. And exhale, bring it back to centre. Last one, take an inhale breath. Nice stretch out through the front of the body. And exhale it back to centre. We're going to take it into a side bend stretch, so just grabbing hold of the wrist, keeping the hips above the feet. We're just going to take it into side bend. So really think about lengthening through the side of the waist there. And then exhale, restack the spine in the centre, back to the middle. Do the same on the other side. So a nice gentle pull. And then bring it back to centre. Bringing the hands behind the head, we're going to take it into some rotation. So elbows out nice and wide. Inhale breath as we exhale, keeping the hip bones facing the front. We're just going to rotate. Elbows stay out nice and wide so we can't see them. Inhale it back to centre, keeping that core switched on as well. Exhale it through. And bring it back to centre. We're then going to take it into a roll down. So we're just going to gently push the head down, chin towards the chest, keeping the hands behind the head, keeping that tailbone tucked under. We're going to really C-curve the spine, so getting a really nice stretch down the spine here. All the way down. And then when we reach the bottom, you should feel a really nice stretch all the way down that posterior chain. Just allow the arms to flop. Head and neck to relax. So there's no creases in the back of the neck. Give the head a little bit of a shake, a nod and a shake. Just switch off those neck muscles. And then again, just gently apply the hands to the back of the head just to pull you down a little bit deeper into that stretch. Some nice deep Pilates breath. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. On the next exhale breath, we're going to restack the spine. You can relax the arms down if you like. If not, keep them behind the head. Take an inhale breath as we exhale. Scoop the tummy button away from the spine. Really use, not away from the spine, away from the thighs. And really use the core to restack. Coming back up to our neutral posture, tailbone tucked under, elbows out nice and wide, hands behind the head. Taking it up into neutral posture. Let's go down one more time. So inhale breath. As we exhale, chin comes towards the chest and just start to roll the spine down. Nice C curve into the spine there. Real nice stretch all the way down. Keeping the knees nice and soft. Don't lock the knees. And again at the bottom, flop. Really feel that stretch into the back of the legs, into the calves, into the hamstrings, lower back. Inhale, breath again. Exhale, let's come back up and out. So peeling the tummy button away from the thighs. Use the core to restack the spine. Coming up nice and slowly. Reaching the top, elbows out nice and wide. Really open up the chest, crown of the head towards the ceiling, and then just relax the arms down to the side. Let's warm up through glutes now with some squats. So just standing, feet hip width apart to begin with. We're just going to warm up with a few squats. So just leaning, going down, weight over the heels, tailbone almost level with the knees there. Exhale, pushing back up. That's it. So inhale, breath as we come down. Exhale, pushing back up. Is Gemma with me now? Is she? Inhale it down. Exhale, push. We're going to take it into a curtsy squat next. So bringing it down into normal squat. Exhale, pushing back up. Then we're going to pop the right leg behind, the weight through the left leg and down into a curtsy squat. And then back up. Normal squat, and then we're going to go down with the other side. So really make sure the weight's through the heel, just warming up through the legs, through the glutes, and then just bringing that leg behind. Weights going through this front heel. Let's go for a few more of these. And down. Keeping that core nice and strong. Let's go for one more to each side. And last one. Back down into squat. We're going to pulse it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And back up. Nice, well done. Then we're going to just warm up again through the quads. So we're going to bring the heels together, feet making a V shape in front. So zipping up from the heel all the way up to the pelvic floor. I'm going to bring the hands behind the head, take it up onto the tiptoes, and then we're going to go down, knees go out to the side, make that diamond shape with the legs, coming down nice and slowly. Inhale, breath. Exhale, pushing back up. Crown of the head towards the ceiling. Bring the heels back down to the floor. Let's go for 3 more of those. So lift, heels up, crown of the head towards the ceiling. Imagine we're sliding the back down a brick wall. So try not to lean forwards. Nice and deep. Exhale, pushing back up. That looks really nice. Lift, crown of the head towards the ceiling. Heels back down. Last one. Lifting up through the heels, and then up, knees out to the side. Inhale it down, nice and deep, spine's nice and upright. Exhale, pushing back up, quads should be on fire. Reach, heels come back down to the floor. Well done. Ooh, I'm out of breath now. Coming towards the end of the mat, what am I doing first? We're going to roll it down. In fact, we'll tabletop pose first. So taking it up into a full body stretch, tailbone tucked under. Inhale, breath as we exhale. We're folding from the hips, so hinging from the hips. Weight pushing back over the heels. Lengthen out through the spine here. Keep those arms framing the face. Take a couple of focus breaths here. Nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Last one. And then going down into that flop position again, so relaxing through head, neck and shoulders. We're going to take about 3 walks out with the hands over the mat, taking it into a downward dog. So keeping the knees nice and soft, so we're not walking out into full plank. Wrists underneath shoulders, head goes between the arms, push the weight back into the heels. Feel that stretch down the spine. And then we're going to come up onto the tiptoes. So the weight's over the wrists, and if you want to, level 2, we can bend through the elbows, bringing the crown of the head down towards the floor, and push back up, and then back into the heels. So it's like a shoulder press, weight over the feet, come up onto the tiptoes, transfer that weight over to the wrists. Level 1, stay here. Level 2s, bend through the elbows, crown the head down towards the mat, pushing back up, and then pushing the heels back down. Let's go for 4 more of those. So up onto the tiptoes, transfer that weight over, stay there for level 1. Level 2, elbows bend, crown of the head comes down, push back up, push those heels back into the floor. Last 3. How are we all getting on? Keeping the legs nice and straight if we can. Push those heels back down, get a nice stretch into the calf as the heels come down. Last 2, weight over the wrists, and then crown of the head comes down towards the floor. Push, back to the heels, and last 1. Bring that weight over the wrists. Push, bring the, bend through the elbows, crown of the head towards the mat. Pushing back up, really working those shoulders. Push it back into the heels, push the floor away with the hands. Couple of focused breaths, and then we're going to bend through the knees, bringing the knees down to the floor. Then we're going to work some rotation again. So level 1, knees are underneath the hips, wrists are underneath the shoulders, and then we're going to take an inhale breath as we open up the chest, reaching that left arm or right arm, doesn't matter, up towards the ceiling. Keeping the hips nice and square, bring the hand back down, doing the same on the other side. So reach, rotate, and then come back down. So this is level 1. Just opening up through that chest. Level 2s, we're going to come into full side plank, full plank rather, and then we're going to come down to the side of the feet, reach, work the obliques, and then back to full plank. Roll the weight over to the side of the feet, reach, and back. Let's go for 2 more to each side. Keeping those hips nice and high if we're working full side plank. Keeping the shoulder away from the ear. And back over. Reach. Last ones. Good, everyone. And last one. And then back to full plank. Bring the knees down to the floor. Take it back into the heels. Take it into child's pose. Have a quick breather. Nice deep breaths again. Really breathing into the side and the back of the lungs. Feel the stretch across the rib cage there. Then we're just going to work triceps. We're going to work back of the body first. So coming back up onto all fours, wrists underneath shoulders, the crease of the elbows pointing forward. We're going to work some Pilates press-ups now. Take a step back with the knee, so we're into a 3/4 plank, keeping that core nice and strong. We're going to take an inhale breath, elbows stay nice and tight towards the side of the body, inhaling down, and exhale as we push back up. You should really feel that in the triceps. Keeping that core nice and tight so we're not hinging from the hips. Inhaling down. Exhale, push back up. Let's go for another 5. So inhaling it down. Elbows stay nice and tight. Lovely, Kate. Exhale, pushing back up. Perfect, Abby. Looks really nice. Last 3. Triceps should feel nice and hot. Inhale down, exhale, push. Like we're pushing the floor away. Last 2. I think you've probably done a couple of extra ones here. Push, and last one. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Inhale it down. Exhale, pushing back up. Hinging from the hips, sit back into the heels, lengthen out through the arms, and have a quick breather. Well done. I can see a little tail wagging. And then we're going to slide all the way down onto the floor, onto our front, and work swimming. I've got some really good exercises for you today. So again, working posterior chains and working all the way down the back of the body. We're going to bring the arms out in front, palms facing, head, forehead towards the floor so the neck stays nice and long. Draw the tummy button up towards the spine, push the pubic bone down into the floor so we've got a nice neutral spine. We're just going to warm up with level one. So take an inhale breath as we exhale, lifting right arm, left leg. So squeezing from that left glute, lift, inhale, lower back down. Going to the other side, exhale, squeeze that right glute, lift that right leg, keep the leg lengthened, keep that quad engaged as well. So that's level one. Keeping that tummy button lifted from the floor. Imagine you've got a drawing pin underneath the tummy button. A bit harsh, but you know what I mean. So that's level one. Level two is take an inhale breath. We're going to exhale, lifting both arms and both legs up from the floor. Think length rather than lift. So reach, holding for 3, 2, 1, and coming down nice and slow, nice and controlled. Let's go for one more of these at level 2. Inhale, breath, exhale, lift and lengthen. Think more length than lift, reach with the arms, engage through the quads, 2, and 1, and release back down. Level 3s, we're coming up into our level 2 position, so reaching with the arms and the legs, and then we're going to swim at the top, keeping arms and legs as straight as we can, 2, 1, lengthen, and then come back down nice and slow, nice and controlled. Let's go for 3 more reps. Deep breath in, exhale it up, reach, lift, and swim. So just take it at your level, either hold it here for level 2 without swimming, or level 3, opposite arm and opposite leg. Lengthen, and then coming back down. Last 2 reps, take an inhale breath. Exhale, coming up. Lengthen and swim. 3, 2, 1, lengthen, and bring it back down to the floor. Last one, take a breath in, really good posture exercise this one. Exhale, coming up, strengthening the back of the body, and swim. 3, nearly there, 2, and 1, lengthen, and bring it back down. Whew. Well done. So after all that extension, really nice to do a bit of flexion now. So coming back up onto all fours, sitting back into the heels, bring the hands down to the side of the feet, palms facing up towards the ceiling, and just relax through the back into that nice shell stretch. Bring the forehead down to the floor. Take some nice deep breaths. And then we're going to work glutes next. So we're going to work 4-point kneeling glutes today. So coming down onto the mat, onto all fours rather. We're going to go right glute first. So knees are underneath the hips, wrists are underneath the shoulders. I want you to come down onto the mat with your left elbow and bring the hand pointing towards the right hand. So it's coming across the body. So we're going to come first work the right glute. So take an inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to cock the right leg like a dog. So lifting up, and then we're going to circle through that right hip. So nice big hip circles. We're going to be working the right hand side Keeping that left hip directly above the knee, so make sure it doesn't slide out to the side. So that left leg, left thigh should be vertical. And then we're going to bring the knee back underneath the hip and take it out into that cock leg position. Bringing the right knee to right elbow, and then leading with the heel, we're going to reach up towards the ceiling, like a donkey kick. So knee to elbow and reach. Leg nice and high, lead with the heel. So you should start to feel this in the outside of the right glute. Reach. Keep that core switched on, core stays in, nice and tight. Let's go for 8 more. 8. 7. Keep that leg up nice and high. Really reach for the ceiling. 6. 5. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. 4. 3. 2. Working core and shoulders as well here, and then we're going to stay extended. We're going to hold and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. That's this nice snip. 3, 2. Looks good, everyone. And 1. Well done. Bring the knee back underneath the hip. You're going to take it into a nice pigeon stretch. So back up onto the hands. Bring that right knee in between the hands. Slightly fold the right foot across the left knee. This is like a game of Twister. And then walk that left leg away. Feel that stretch in the right glute. You can come down to the elbows if you like here. And just stretch that right glute out. Take some nice deep breaths there. Not quite finished with that right glute. We're going to come down now into a side position. However, we're going to come down onto the right hip. So the hip that we've just been working, we're going to sit down to that right glute. We're going to bring the elbow underneath the shoulder and work clam from here. So hips are stacked, shoulders nice and strong away from the ear. We're going to bring that left leg up into the top of the clam and then back down. So lift, squeeze, externally rotate that left leg and back down. Let's go for 3 more. 1, 2, and we're going to stay open with that left hip now. We're going to come up off the right hip, up towards the ceiling. Push the hips up towards the ceiling, work that right oblique, and then kiss the floor with the right hip and straight back up again. That's it. So just lifting and lowering that right hip from the floor. Let's go for 8 more. 7. Keep that shoulder nice and strong, right shoulder nice and strong. Don't sink into it. 6. 5. Keep that left leg at the top of the clam. 4. Should be feeling it now in that right glute. 3. 2. Nearly there. And 1. Let's hold for 4 breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 1. Leg stays up, that left leg, top of the clam. 2. 1. And lower back down to the floor. Whew, well done. We're going to come up into seated now, coming towards the front of our mats, working some spine extension and flexion. So sat nice and tall on the sit bones, crown of the head towards the ceiling. I just want you to then roll to the back of the sit bones and flex through the spine. So making a nice curve into the spine and then lift, extend, crown of the head towards the ceiling and then roll it back onto the back of the sit bones and flex. Let's go for a couple more, just warming up through the spine. And last one. We're going to take it now into half roll down. So heels stay hip width apart. Arms come out level with the shoulders. Take an inhale breath as we exhale again. Roll to the back of the sit bones and come into that half roll down position where you feel the heels want to lift up from the floor. Inhale breath here and then exhale. Coming back to center. Restack the spine, lengthen through the spine in the middle and then roll it back. Inhale breath, exhale it back up and lengthen. On this next one, we're going to come all the way down into that half roll down position and work across the way. So bringing the hands into prayer, elbows out nice and wide. Inhale breath as we exhale. We're going to bring the right elbow down towards the floor so that left rib comes over towards that right hip. Inhale it back to center. Exhale it down to the other side, so really bringing that rib cage across and then back to center. Let's go for two more to each side. Elbow towards floor, so really rotating, twisting through that waist. Inhale back to center. One more to each side. And last one. Bring it back to center. Bring the arms out level with the shoulders. We're going to do a right leg raise. So up into tabletop and back down. Same on the other side and back down. Let's go for two more on each side. Lifting and lowering. Keeping that core nice and strong. Last ones. Both heels down to the floor. Inhale breath as we exhale. We're slowly going to place one vertebrae at a time down onto the mat. When we get there, take it out, arms behind the head, lengthen through the legs, lift the spine up from the floor, lengthen through those abdominals. Nice deep breaths. And then bringing the feet back onto the floor, we're going to find our neutral spine. So a few pelvic tilts, lifting and lowering the pubic bone, sinking that lower back down into the floor there, and then finding neutral with the pelvis. So the hip bones and the pubic bones are nice and level. There's a slight gap between the lower back and the mat. We're going to bring the arms up into above the shoulders, palms facing. Anchor those shoulders into the floor. Without losing that neutral spine, you can work an imprint as well, by the way, here. So if you want to just sink that lower back down into the floor, that's also fine. We're going to take an inhale breath as we bring the arms behind the head without the ribs popping up. So it might not go all the way down to the floor, the arms, and then exhale as we bring the arms back up towards the ceiling. So inhale breath, really working that transverse corset muscle. Exhale as we come back up towards the ceiling without increasing that distance between the ribs and the hips. So abdominals stay nice and short. We're then going to bring the legs up into tabletop position, doing the same thing again. So tabletop legs one at a time, keeping that nice neutral spine, arms come behind the head. Exhale, lift. How good it looks. And then we're going to go into ab prep. So bring the arms behind the head. This time take an inhale breath. As we exhale, the arms come back up, head and shoulders come back up with it. So chin comes towards the chest, push down with the hands, lengthen through the arms, and then inhale, coming back, arms come back behind the head and shoulders go down to the floor. So exhale, chin to chest, lifting up, lifting the shoulder blades up from the floor, really shorten those abdominals. You'll be imprinting in this point. And then inhale it back down. Arms come behind the head. Perfect. So we're just prepping up there for going into the first core exercise. Excuse my knees cracking there. Into the 100. So lift, pushing down with the hands, and then inhale it back. On this next one, we're going to go straight into the 100. So inhale, breath, exhale, pushing down with the hands, and then we're going to start to pulse. Inhaling for 5, exhale for 5. If it's too much on the neck, bring the head and shoulders down. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can lengthen out through the legs. Just make sure you're taking those nice deep breaths. In for 5 pulses, out 5 pulses, nearly halfway. Halfway there. If it's hurting the neck, just bring the head down. 7, 8, 9. Last 10 pulses. In 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. Well done. Head and shoulders come down if they're not already. Hug the knees into the chest. Have a little roll around on that lower back. Well done. Next exercise, we're going to work crisscross. So again, working across the waist. So we're going to bring the hands behind the head for this one, just to help take the pressure off the neck a little bit here. So again, finding that neutral spine to begin with. So hip bones, pubic bones are level. Transverse is switched on, that deep corset muscle. We're going to bring the legs up into tabletop position one at a time. Take an inhale breath, we're going to exhale, lift head and shoulders up from the mat. Lengthening away the left leg, we're going to bring the right elbow over towards left knee. And then inhale it back to center, legs come back to tabletop. You can bring the head all the way down here if you like. Exhale it through to the other side. Reach. So again, rather than just the arms moving, we're really concentrating, focusing on the rib to opposite hip. So really twisting across the waist. Reach. I'm really lengthening away that leg as the shoulder girdle comes over, reach. Inhale it back to center. Exhale. Inhale it back. Let's go for 2 more to each side. Inhale it back in the center, last ones. Elbows stay out nice and wide. Try not to pull up on the head. Inhale it back to center. Bring the head, elbows down, bring the legs down one at a time. And then feet hip width apart. We're just going to roll the knees over to one side, keeping the hips as flat to the floor as we can. They're getting a really nice stretch down the side of the waist. Again, nice deep breaths. And then coming back through the center, over to the other side. Keep the hips as flat to the floor as we can. Let's give the core a little rest now. So coming back into center, bringing the arms down to the side, bringing the feet a bit closer to the bottom. We take it into a nice shoulder bridge now. So imprint the spine. So pubic bones slightly higher than the hip bones. Inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to lift the pubic bone up, start to peel the spine up from the floor. Keep those knees nice and still. Imagine we've got balancing 2 glasses of water on each knee. So squeeze the hips up towards the ceiling. Inhale breath here as we exhale. Without the ribs popping up, we're going to bring the arms up and over the head. Glutes are squeezed, knees are still. Take an inhale breath here. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the arms back over and slowly start to place the spine back down, one vertebrae at a time. Control it back down to the floor. And when that tailbone touches the floor, inhale, breath, exhale. Imprint the spine, start to peel the spine up. So spine comes up first. Squeeze the hips up, keep the tailbone tucked under. Inhale, breath. Exhale the arms over. Don't let the ribs pop up. Inhale, breath. Exhale, coming back down, one vertebrae at a time. Arms coming back with the spine. Just keep that going. Really articulate through that spine. Let's go. Lovely, Joe. Inhale, exhale over. Look perfect. Nice, Abby. And back down. This next one we're going to hold up in shoulder bridge. So take an inhale breath. As we exhale, imprint, start to peel the spine up. Squeeze those hips up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale breath. As we exhale, bring the arms over the head. Keeping the arms above the head this time. We're going to slightly release the right glute. So we just dip that right hip down. So slight rotation there. And then exhale, push the right hip back up. Going down with the left hand side. And push. So it's like a ship rocking. And push. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and last ones, and 1. Pushing both hips up, squeeze those glutes, take a deep inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to bring the arms back over, slowly place the spine back down, one vertebrae at a time, controlling it down. Lovely. And then when that bottom touches the floor, just grab hold of one knee then the other and just bring the knees towards your shoulders. So get a really nice stretch into the inner thighs, into the glutes. Have a little rock from side to side there. And then popping one foot at a time back down onto the floor. Taking the legs out, we're going to roll it up now. So bringing the arms up above the shoulders, palms facing. Anchor the shoulders, inhale breath as we exhale. Bring the chin towards the chest and start to peel the spine up from the floor. Lovely. Sit nice and tall at the top. We're going to forward fold. Inhale breath, exhale, leading with the chest. Get that really nice stretch down the back of the legs there. Reach for the feet. Hold it there for 3, 2, 1, and then roll. Lengthening the spine back up. Shoulder, arms out level with the shoulders. Shoulders down and back. Inhale, breath, exhale. Pelvic tilt. Control the spine back down, one vertebrae at a time. Bring the arms behind the head. Don't let the ribs pop there, so core stays switched on. And then bring arms back up towards the ceiling. Anchor the shoulders. Inhale, breath, exhale. Chin to chest. Peeling the spine up. Sit nice and tall. Let's forward fold again. Inhale, breath, exhale, leading with the chest. So we're going to do a little bit of roll up and roll down practice now. Those of you who find roll up and roll down quite easy, another option for you, we're going to work neck pull. So we're going to bring the hands behind the head, elbows out nice and wide. If you just want to practice your normal roll downs, do those. Take an inhale breath, so spine's lengthened. Exhale, pelvic tilt. Slowly start to place the spine one vertebrae at a time, keeping the arms behind the head. Inhale, breath here. As we exhale, chin comes towards the chest. You'll feel this is a lot harder. Lengthening at the top. And then we're going to spine stretch. So coming over, backwards with the waist, forwards with the arms, and almost like you're trying to pull the head off the shoulders. And then lengthen, keeping those elbows out nice and wide. Inhale, breath. Exhale. So all the time keeping the arms behind the head. So we've added weight into the lever there, so it's harder to control. Down. Inhale, exhale, chin to chest, elbows stay nice and wide. Lengthening at the top, spine stretch, so work that C curve. Try to pull the head off the shoulders, neck pull. So don't push down on the head for this one. Almost pull the head off the shoulders, if you know what I mean. So, another two, either working neck pull or normal roll down. Normal roll down, arms stay up level with the shoulders. Bring the arms behind the head, don't allow the ribs to pop out. And then exhale, chin to chest. Nice and tall. And spine stretch, reaching forward with the arm, backwards with the waist. Last one. So whichever version you're working, inhale, exhale. Inhale, breath at the bottom. Always exhaling on the work. Lengthen. And then spine stretch, pulling the head away from the shoulders. And then back to center. Well done. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to work other glutes. So coming down to into our all fours position, we're working left glute this time. So wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. So we're working left glute. So we're going to bring the right elbow down onto the floor. Hand comes across, pointing towards that left hand. So starting with those hip circles, core switched on. We're going to bring the leg out to the side and just work the hip, working some nice knees, hip circles there. Keeping that nice 90-degree bend in the knee. Keeping that right thigh vertical as well, so we're not jutting that right hip out towards the side. Let's go for a couple more. And then bring that knee back down to the floor. Now hard work begins. So we're going to cock the left leg out to the side. So the legs out nice and high. And then we're going to donkey towards the ceiling, leading with the heel. And then bring that left knee towards left elbow. And lift, reach. Engage through that quad on the reach. Keep that core on. Don't allow that right hip to slide out. So reach. Keep that going. Lovely, Julie. Nice, Gemma. Nice, keep that leg nice and high. That's perfect. Nice, Mum. Lovely, Keena. Let's keep it going. You'll be wanting me to bring back the clam next week. Just let me try something different this week. Let's go for 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, keep that core on, and 1. We're going to pulse for 8, 7, 6, think about that pigeon stretch, 5, 4, 3, keep that leg high, 2, and 1. Nice, well done. Bring the knee back underneath the hip. Come up onto the hands. Bring that left knee in between the hands. Slightly turn that left foot across the right knee and walk that right leg back until we feel that nice stretch into that left glute. Almost lean into the left glute a little bit there as well. And if you've got the mobility, come down onto the elbows and just add a little bit of extra weight into that stretch. Well done. Nice deep breaths. And then back up onto the hands. Walk that right leg back up. We're then coming down onto that left hip. So on the leg we've just been working, popping it down to the floor, bringing the elbow underneath the shoulder, shoulder away from the ear, feet in line with the bottom, hips are stacked. We're just going to work clam. So just pushing the floor away with that left elbow. Three, two, and then we're going to hold that right leg at the top of the clam and lift left hip off the ceiling, off the floor. And then kiss the floor with the hip. So don't rest, lift. So working obliques here, shoulder, and lift, hip. Let's go for 8 more. 7, 6, nearly there. 5, 4, 3, try not to let that right leg drop. 2, and last one, let's hold it up. 3 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Try and ignore that pain. 2, and 3. Well done. Bring the right hip back down to the floor. Try not to collapse down. Taking it back up into seated again. We're going to roll it back down onto the floor. So nice and tall on the sit bones. Nice bend through the knee. Inhale, breath. Exhale. Rolling it back and rolling it down. 1 vertebrae at a time. Rolling it down. Bring the arms behind the head. Don't allow those ribs to pop out. And then bringing the arms down to the side of the body. So in neutral with the spine or imprint, whichever you prefer. We're going to bring the legs one at a time up into tabletop position. We're going to work spine twist. So bringing the arms out to the side, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Let's go straight to a level 2 spine twist. You can always bring it back down again. So lengthening the right leg up towards the ceiling. We're going to come down to the left-hand side. So rotating through that lower back. Don't allow the shoulder blades to come from above the floor. And then back to center. Switching the legs in the center. So left leg raise. Inhale it down. Rotate. And then exhale. Squeeze that leg back up. If that's too much, both legs into tabletop. And just work. Level 1. Keep it going. So whichever level you're working, if you wanted to work harder, both legs up. Perfect, Kina. You're working that rotation. Lovely, Kate. Nice, Gemma. And then back to centre. Just want you to try one more thing with spine twists. I think we did it on Monday night. So both legs into tabletop. We're going to take away the stability of the floor. So bringing the arms up towards the ceiling. Anchor those shoulders down. Imagine we've got 2 glasses of champagne, 1 in each hand. And it's not going to be a large movement at all, but we're going to spine twist again. So just bringing the legs down to the side. And then exhale it through the center. So really working that transverse muscle to stabilize. It's a very slight movement. We do not want to lose control. Exhale it back to center. Gosh, time's gone fast today. Let's do one more to each side. Don't spill the champagne. And then back to centre, well done. Just hug the knees in for a second. Last exercise we're going to do, lower abdominals, working a little bit of rolling back. So, hands down by the side, palms down towards the floor, legs back into tabletop position, and then just increase the angle behind the knee. So, I'm not very good with angles, but bringing one leg across the other. So nice soft knees basically. Take an inhale breath as we just lower the legs down towards the floor without losing imprint. As we exhale, we're going to come up and try and lift the hips up from the floor. And then slowly place the spine back down. So it's lower without losing imprint. And then exhale. Lift the hips up, pushing down into the hands as well. Using the core as much as we can. So really working those lower abdominals. This is level 1, which is actually harder than level 2. You just need the mobility for level 2. So level 2s, everyone okay with rolling back? Uncross the legs, lower, keeping the legs as straight as we can. We're going to bring the knees up and over. Feel that nice posterior chain stretch. Inhale, breath. Exhale, slowly lowering back down to the floor. Trying to keep the weight out of the arms and out of the hands. So using the core as much as we can here. Inhale it down. Exhale. Back up and over. So I'll leave it to you which level you're working. Again, just controlling the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Let's go for 2 more after this one. Slowly lowering it down. Last one. And up and over. Those level 1s, your abs will be screaming. Exhale, slowly lowering back down. One vertebrae at a time. Bending through the knees. Popping the feet down to the floor. One at a time. Straddling the mat with the feet. So legs out nice and wide. Bring the arms out to the side. Relax the shoulders. Inhale breath as we exhale, we're rolling the knees over in one direction, keeping the hips to the floor. Try and bring the knees as close to the floor as we can. Get that nice stretch into the hip there as well. Nice deep breath. Really breathing into the bottom of the lungs. And then bringing the knees up and over. Rolling down to the other side. Keep those hips as flat to the floor as we can. Bring the knees as close to the floor as we can. And then bringing the knees back to center. Step the feet back up onto the mat. Let's do a nice little glute stretch now. So bring in a right foot across the left knee, pushing that right knee out to the side. That might be enough of a stretch for you. If not, bring that left leg up into tabletop position, grabbing hold of the ankle just to take the pressure off that left hip flexor. And then from here, just bring the spine up from the floor. So really lift the spine up. You should feel a nice deep stretch there into the glute. Can you actually see me? That's it. Lift the spine up. And then push the spine back down before returning the foot to the floor. Put the other foot down onto the floor, same on the other side, so left foot comes over, and then bring that leg up into tabletop, want a bit of a deeper stretch, and then lift the spine up from the floor. Grab hold of that right foot there, take the pressure off that left foot rather, right hip flexor, you know what I mean. And then bring the foot back down to the floor, followed by the other foot. Take it into full body stretch. We're going to roll up for the last time. Take an inhale breath. Arms come up towards the ceiling. Anchor the shoulders. Inhale breath. Exhale. Chin comes towards the chest. We're going to peel the spine up from the floor. Sit nice and tall in the center. Widening out through the legs. Leading with the chest. We're going to lower the arms down towards the floor. So try not to C-curve the spine. Keep that spine nice and straight. Get that stretch into the inner thighs. And then walking the hands back towards the center. Rebuild the spine. Let's stretch out those obliques now. So bring the right hand out in front. Spread the fingers. Left arm goes up and over, reaching down towards that right foot. And then just walk that right hand as far away as you can, just pulling that shoulder through. Take the gaze up towards the ceiling. Really nice stretch down the side of the waist. And then back to center, same on the other side, so left arm in front, spread the fingers with that left hand, right arm comes up and over, feel the stretch first and then just walk the hands away, bring that shoulder through, take the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then bring it back to center again. I'm going to come down onto our fronts. Sorry, slightly overrunning. If you need to go, I won't be offended. So feet out wide, wider than the mat. Wrists underneath shoulders, hands underneath shoulders, or slightly in front of. Inhale breath as we exhale. Relax the glutes, keep the hips down. Push the floor away. Bring up into a nice cobra stretch. Feel that stretch down the front of the body. Take it down about halfway. Engage through the core. We're going to come up onto the knees. Sit it back between the heels. Taking it into a wide leg child pose. Really lower that upper body down into the floor. Nice deep breaths. And then back up onto all fours again, shoulders over wrists, knees underneath hips, taking it into our cat stretch, so elbows soft, chin towards the chest, really squeeze that tailbone and lengthen through the spine. And then we're going to return to neutral, beyond, gently squeeze the shoulder blades together, stick out the bottom, take the gaze to the end of the mat. And then return back to neutral spine. Nice and long through the neck. Turning the toes underneath. Inhale breath as we exhale, come up into a little knee hover. And just start to push the floor away with the hands. Rolling the weight back into the heels. Keep those knees soft. Pushing the floor away. Get a stretch into the calf. Bring the heels down. And then slowly start to walk the hands back towards the feet. Transfer the weight back to the feet again and flop. Nice deep inhale breath here. As we exhale, draw the tummy away from the thighs. Engage through the core. Let the arms dangle as we start to roll back up. Rebuild. And then when we reach the top, some really nice big shoulder rolls.